Now you ain't gon' get to it if you don't let yourself. And if you out there on your grind, better protect yourself. Don't let them do nothing for you, gonna get it yourself. Weigh your options, you ain't gotta wait for nobody else. And you can't check me unless you check yourself. And you can't help me unless you help yourself. Don't let them do nothing for you, gonna get it yourself.
What's good, people? Checking in with y'all. Once again, it's been about a week, been a little while since I put a video up. I want to talk about my last week that just ended. Technically today is in the payroll. But before I get to that, last night, ew, what the fuck was that?
Take exit on the right for I-80s.
The roadkill game is serious out here. I mean, literally animals are exploding on the highway. You drive down, it's a big fucking bloodbath in the middle of a lane. Body parts here, body parts there. Whatever I just drove past, that was just the top half of it. I don't know what the other half is. It's disgusting. The shit that you see out here on the road is disgusting. Thank God I haven't been the aggressor in one of these encounters between a truck and one of these animals out here on the late night tip. Because the type of damage inflicted on these animals can only come at the hands of a semi-truck. Anyways, last night I'm rolling down through Iowa before I decided to stop off and go to sleep. And I was on YouTube looking for something to listen to, somebody to listen to, and I stumbled across the new Guilty 718 put up a video entitled, "You Got Your CDL, Now What?" And Guilty 718, shout out to you, my dude. Fuck with that dude real hard, man. Videos always well orchestrated and put together. You know, always interesting. So I generally watch almost every video he puts up. And I'm just gonna refer to the man as G7 because saying Guilty 718 whenever I refer to him throughout this video is gonna get irritating to me. So when I say G7, that's what I'm referring to. Like I said, I fuck with the dude. He's a cool ass dude, except for the fact that he's a Giants fan, and I'm a Cowboys fan. So we're not gonna see eye to eye when it comes to football, but pretty much anything else, I can pretty much ride with this dude on. So anyways, in the video, he spoke about several things, but he posed a question about, is OTR trucking a young man, young woman's game or field or whatever, however the question was posed. And I looked at that and I said to myself, you know, with what I know now, you know, you generally see a lot of old heads driving OTR. That's like the consensus of the stereotype. You don't really think about a young 23-year-old dude out here driving OTR. At least I didn't. When I thought about OTR drivers, I thought about a, you know, mid to late 40s, early 50-year-old dude, you know, trucker hat, and chewing tobacco, cigarettes, talking shit on the CB, and you know, that's the image that came to mind for me until I actually got on the road and realized it's very diverse out here. You know, you got what America portrays as the typical truck driver, which is generally going to be a white dude and, you know, cowboy boots, cowboy hat. That's just the stereotype of a truck driver. That's what most people think about. I got out here and realized, man, there's all types of people out here, and it's a lot of women. A lot more women than I thought. A lot of attractive women, which is surprising. You know, I thought it'd be a lot of unattractive women, big blobby ass women. But you look at some of these women come out of the trucks, and you're like, what the hell is going on here? You got a lot of black men and women. You got a lot of Middle Easterns. You got a lot of African, Somalian type people out here, and you know, you got white men and white women. It's a lot more diverse than I thought it would be. But anyways, back to the question. Is it a young man's, young woman's game? I would say collectively, with what it encompasses to do this job, I would say, yeah, it would be more geared toward them, assuming that they are in the mold of someone like Chase and Andrew Jackson. shout out to Chase Andrew. You know, a young man who's not married, has no kids, has really no financial obligations tying him down at home. Therefore, he can be on the road and be free, and all the money he or she makes is just to further whatever cause they have, and hopefully they have a cause, because too many people come on the road with no game plan to begin with. It just seems fun. They just come out here and do it. As I referenced to in a video I did several weeks ago about one of my older cousins who came out on the road at the age of 21 and spent 25 years on the road and doesn't have anything to show for it. So coming out here without an idea, without a plan, without a goal, without a plan to advance in the industry. But in the sense of youth, yeah, if you're in the motor and chasing Andrew Jackson and you don't have any kids, I think that's the biggest factor is children. If you have children, that makes it difficult to be a true, hard-nosed, unapologetic OTR driver as far as my opinion goes. But as with anything, I believe circumstances always fall on individuals, because you could have a 50-plus-year-old person who may have been OTR for several years in their earlier 20s or whatever, and started having kids and a family and came off the road and found something to do. And then once their kids all grew up and graduated high school, went off to college or the military or just entered the workforce or whatever, once their kids are no longer dependents, then they decide they're going to come back on the road. And they're basically in the same situation, except they have more wisdom and more knowledge than the 22, 23-year-old, because their kids, their dependents are now adults, and at that point they probably would have paid off their house, or sold whatever they had, or got out of whatever they were renting. Basically, they're on the road and they're carefree as well. So I think the general consensus, in my opinion, would be that it is more geared toward the younger men and women. But I wouldn't count out the older, more mature, wiser folks either once they get their affairs in order back at home, because I think it all boils down to what you got going at home. If you can stay out on the road for 2 months and there's nothing eating at you to get back home, you're going to be more successful. As G7 said in his video, he's 42 and got 5 kids and he's married. So he never really thought about getting into trucking until basically a year or two ago. But in the video, he referenced his 7-year-old daughter and how it eats him up, and being away from her, and how it affects him and how it affects her. That's what I'm talking about when I say the children, because me being a 28-year-old who always saw myself getting into trucking, being away from my son in particular really eats me up day in and day out, not being home every day. Then of course being away from your woman, being away from your family, that all factors in, but I think it's more strenuous on your having younger children. So me having a 4-year-old, Guilty having a 7-year-old that he referenced in particular, that really weighs on you. And I think that can affect how successful you're going to be over the road. Now we all know there's money to be made out here on the road, but what I've learned is that through networking, while I was driving locally for 4 years, as well as getting out here on the road and talking to other drivers who are owner-operators, what I've learned is that you can make really good money as an owner-operator driving locally or regionally. You don't necessarily have to be an owner-operator and run all 48 states to be successful. Are you going to make more money doing that? More than likely, but it all depends, because you're also incurring a lot more expenses, more fuel, more wear and tear on your truck, which means more maintenance, more a higher possibility of a breakdown. More money is being spent out to keep the upkeep of that truck so that you can continue to make your money. Whereas if you find you a little lane to run in on a local level, on a regional level, number one, you're limiting the amount of wear and tear on your truck, the amount of stress on your truck. Number two, you're not burning up as much fuel because you're not running as many miles. So on the back end, you're saving money. Now, OTR 48 state runner gonna make more money, but he's spending more money. So you got to add up the expenses to the revenue to see who really makes the most money. But what I know is that a lot of guys get their own trucks and they find ways to make money on a local, regional level, and that's the path I'm on. That's where I'm headed to. You know, to be able to find my own lane, find me a groove where I can basically, for example, I live in Virginia. If I find me something I can run up to New Jersey or down to South Carolina, you know, 300-400 miles, take a load one way, you know, that load might be going 350-400 miles north or south, or maybe west, drop that off, make a quick, you know, $800-900 up to probably $1,600 on a run like that, maybe more. And then find something in the area to get me right back up to Virginia, to get me right back home. I could basically operate like that and be home, if not every day, every other day, and definitely off on the weekends. So if I get myself in a situation like that, where I'm able to run a load from, you know, Virginia to South Carolina, and a load from South Carolina back up to Virginia, and get home that night, cool, you know, or run something down to Georgia, spend the night, pick up a load in Georgia, run that back to Virginia. Now I'm back at home. I done made about $2,000 in 2 days, minimum. That's the local, regional thing I'm talking about, which is where I'm going, what I'm going to get into once I get my own truck. Now I'm not going to work weekends. I'm going to be off every weekend, no doubt about it, unless something is just paying too good to turn away from. But yeah, that's my outlook. That's what I'm planning on doing with the when I get my own truck. Why do people do this? People kill me with that. And you couldn't have just drove a little bit further before you merged over. Now I had to slow down a little bit. Come on, man. So last time I checked in with y'all, though, I was taking a load from New York down to Illinois, and that ended off my week last week, my last pay cycle. And the load I got from Illinois was the start of the pay cycle that just ended. And I got a load from Illinois running to New Jersey, like about 1,000 miles, paid me $2,200, so I paid $2.20 a mile. Good load. Then when I got to New Jersey, to reference back to what I was talking about earlier in the video about being away from your home and being away from your kids, my son was kind of going through it and missing me and everything, and asked me when I was coming back home and whatnot. So I got a load. I requested a load from Jersey to get me down to Virginia. So I shot down to Virginia. That load was going to Sandston, which is about 86-90 miles past south of where I live at. So on my way down there, I stopped at home. I spent the night at the house. I was home for about 14 hours. Got up in the morning and ran that load down to Sandston. So I spent some time with my son. And then from there, I had to then head down to North Carolina, pick up a meat load that I took from North Carolina up to Nebraska. And that load ended off my week. That load was paying $1,700. And it went 1,300 miles. So last week, the revenue on my truck last week was $4,600. I'm guesstimating that I'll take home anywhere between $1,600 and $1,900, depending on how the expenses add up. I know I spent about $1,200 on fuel, and my truck, regular truck expenses are right around $1,400, maybe a little bit more. So. Also, I'm waiting and hoping that my detention pay from about 3 weeks ago when I got held up at a Walmart in South Carolina for 11.5 hours, I'm hoping that hits on this check. Because if that hits on this check, then I'll take home well over $2,000. All right. So the reason for the abrupt ending was my phone died, and I was pretty much done wrapping that video up as it was anyways. Spoke my piece, gave a quick little update on what has been going on with me the last week since the last time I had checked in with y'all, and obviously my response to the question that my dude Guilty 718 asked in his video, you got your CDL, now what? So I'm getting ready for bed. If y'all can't tell, it's like 5 in the morning, Wednesday morning. I'm shut down in Indiana for the night, and I'm about 7.5 to 8 hours away from where I gotta be at 1 a.m. Thursday morning. So I got plenty of time to get down there. I'm not setting no alarms or nothing. I'm about to just pass out, get up when I get up, probably run inside the Denny's, grab some breakfast, and then hit the road about 4 o'clock, 4:30. That'll give me about 9 hours to basically complete an 8-hour drive. So, yeah. To end it off, salute to the dude Guilty 718. Keep doing your thing, bruh. And I'll check back in with y'all a little later. As always, it's your man JMV. Till next time, y'all be.
Don't let them do nothing for you, gonna get it yourself. Weigh your options, you ain't gotta wait for nobody.